and welcome back to the Janice McQueen Show. I'm really excited to have my personal trainer here with us today, Flo Elkins. And she has a business as a personal trainer for the Love of Life Fitness. And she has so many certifications, I'm actually going to read all these off. She is certified through the National Academy of Sports Medicine as a personal trainer. She also holds certificates as a corrective exercise specialist, a sports performance enhancement specialist, fitness nutrition specialist, and also has a certificate in .fit, which is nutrition and supplementation. Welcome, Flo. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
You have been an amazing inspiration to me in my life.
Thank you.
She's been my trainer for over a year now, and for those of you who know me know that I suffer from hypothyroidism, which means that my metabolism is a little bit slower than it needs to be, and I have to work extra hard. And you really put that extra oomph in my workout and made me feel better, stronger, faster. Just I feel like me again. And so I really want to thank you for that. So I have to ask you, because I was reading about you, and of course knowing you over the last year, I know that you used to be a social worker.
Right.
So what inspired you to become a personal trainer?
First of all, thank you so much for having me on your show. And it has been a pleasure working with you over the last year. You really do work your butt off. So it's really great to know that I've actually played a part in you feeling better and feeling more like yourself.
Hugely, thank you.
As far as what inspired me to be a fitness trainer, I was a social worker. I worked in foster care and adoption social work for a little over 10 years.
Wow.
And so I lost my job back in 2012, and I had an opportunity to go back to school. I've always been pretty athletic. I was a dancer, played sports growing up, and when I lost my job, I had the opportunity to go back to school, and one of the courses that was offered to me to, like for re-employment, if you will, education was becoming a personal trainer.
Wow.
The year prior, I had actually hired a personal trainer, and I loved it. And I was one of those clients like you where I wanted to know what those exercises were, what muscles we were working. And so I had an opportunity to go to school, and I got to do that where I knew which exercises to do. Before I went to the gym, it was kind of like, even though I was into sports, I never lifted weights. So I was one of those cardio queens on the elliptical or on the treadmill. And so once I had a personal trainer and saw the different exercises and understood about weight training, that's what inspired me to go into that field.
And I really love your motto. It's transforming lives one body at a time. And I can attest to that. You really do transform the body. I think it's also internally because that person does feel better. But the transition from going from social worker to personal trainer, how did that prepare you? I mean, being a social worker is such a hard job. You take that home with you. And being a personal trainer, you give so much back to the client, like myself.
Right.
How did being a social worker prepare you to be a personal trainer?
So as a social worker, not only did I take that home with me, I also took a child home with me.
Yay, that's so great!
Yeah, so I adopted my daughter when she was 16 years old. But as far as preparing me, it helped me with just understanding the process of change in terms of the psychology behind what people go through when they want to make changes, whether it's mental, physical, whatever it is. So as a social worker, I learned about, resistance when it comes to change. And I experienced that a lot with clients. So that's one of the ways. And just being patient with people and meeting them where they are and inspiring them based on their situation.
Well, what I really like about you is you individualize the person. You take and you listen to what their needs are and what they're working on, and you fit that to the exercise. But so many people, as you know, they want to do it themselves. They think that they have all the answers, and we all know that. We know it's hard sometimes to make that commitment. When you're ready to make the change and the transformation, it does take that time. But what are the most common mistakes do people make when it comes to fitness?
Wow. I think that's the most common, is that people try to do it themselves. People go on YouTube with the internet and everything. They look at people that they want to be like, and they may not necessarily be doing the exercises right. And like you said, it's individualized. So they may be doing something or doing the exercise wrong. And could lead to some kind of injury. And so aside from thinking about that person's background and their level of fitness and all of that, taking all of that into account in putting together a training program, a lot of people make that mistake of just doing what's popular at the time.
Right, and then what celebrities attached to that
Right.
workout, and that's not necessarily what we need to see. We need to see someone who's certified like yourself that can individualize that routine and make it right for them so that it makes their needs met.
Right.
For example, not everyone has hypothyroidism. They may have the opposite of hyper, or they might not gain muscle very easily. They might lose muscle very easily, and you can help them with that. What are the most common mistakes that you find with people in nutrition? Because I know that you also work in nutrition and supplementation. What myths can you help us with as far as those mistakes?
The biggest one, I think, is when people exclude one of the major macronutrients in their diet. Ooh. So some people go on these diets where they're no carbs, absolutely no carbs, or they're just no carbs, high proteins, or no fats, low fats. And a lot of that has to do with the nutrition industry, the food industry rather. And so I think that that's the biggest mistake, is because when they go on these diets or fast or whatever it is that they choose to do to try to help them meet their needs, when they go back to when they get off the fast or get off the diet, that's why a lot of people experience that yo-yo dieting or yo-yo weight loss, because they exclude major macronutrients out of their diet. So we need fats, we need carbs, we need proteins, we need vitamins, we need water, we need rest. And people don't take that into account. And that kind of goes back to one of the mistakes with fitness, is that people just start exercising. They may not know how to progress to different levels of their fitness, and then how to supplement it with the food that they're eating, what to eat before they eat. There's things like people, oh, what about fasted cardio, and just different things that are just out there that people are not really educated about. And it can cause harm, it can cause injury. I just read an article yesterday. Someone showed me one of my college people that I went to college with actually passed away 2 days ago from doing a 40-day fast or whatever. And on the 37th day, I don't know exactly what the diet or the fast was, but she actually passed away.
Oh,
so just
awful.
people not educating themselves and really individualizing even their nutrition. Because I know, like with you being a vegetarian, and myself being a vegetarian too, when I started to do weightlifting, excuse me, one of the things that people would always say to me is, there's no way that you can build muscle without eating meat. And so that was everybody's answer. Just start eating meat again. Just start eating meat again. And I hadn't eaten meat in over 20 years, so that wasn't an option for me.
Well, that really just says it all. It's really about a lifestyle.
Right.
Fitness is about a lifestyle. Nutrition is about a lifestyle. So when we come back, we're going to show Flo's 5 top exercises that you should do when you don't have time to do anything else. So I'll see you back in just a few minutes. Hi, I'm Janice McQueen, and this is the Janice McQueen Show. Who would have thought? It's my name. But I hope that you will start watching the show and make sure to like me, follow me, and subscribe at Janice McQueen and hashtag the Janice McQueen Show. My show is all about people that have found their voice and are sharing their passions. What's your passion? What's your dream? I know you have one. So I hope you'll watch. Please do. Watch me every single week on the Janice McQueen Show.
Yes.
Oh, hi, welcome back to the Janice McQueen Show. I'm here with Flo Elkins with For the Love of Fitness, and she is showing me the top 5 best exercises you can do when you don't have time to go to the gym. And I'm starting with push-ups, but you can modify these, right?
Yes. Now, for the modification, you drop your knees.
Okay.
And make sure your body is still in that plank-like position.
Okay, great.
And go ahead, you can lift your feet to add a little bit more resistance, and then go down.
I could probably go a little bit lower this way. Oh yeah, that feels good. Ooh,
Yes,
I
one
like
more,
it.
one more.
Whew, I was working out
Awesome.
during the commercial break, so I'm really tired.
All right, you can come on up.
So how many a day should we do of those? Or is it every other day, would you recommend?
Every other day. The reason that I picked the 5 exercises that I did is because it hits every major muscle group. So for example, with the chest being the major muscle group for a push-up, the secondary muscle are the triceps. So you're doing and then the wider your hands are for the push-ups, it focuses more on the chest, and then the more narrow your hands are, it focuses more on the triceps.
Great.
But the triceps are also engaged in a push-up.
Yeah, I can feel them, absolutely. Okay, what's the next one?
Okay, so we have overhead shoulder press.
Ooh, I love working on my shoulders.
Always remember to keep your feet shoulder width apart, a slight bend in your knees, and then also pull your navel to your spine, engaging your core. Not holding your breath. Remember to breathe. Remember to breathe.
And then just straight up?
Right. And you don't want your arms to fall below this part of your arm being parallel to the floor.
Well, that feels good. And I think the shoulders really show. Like especially if you're a woman and you want to wear a nice strapless dress, those shoulders can look so good if you work them out. I love it. I love it. Oh, this feels good.
Yes. And that way it hits all 3 heads of the shoulder, the anterior, the lateral, and the rear deltoid.
Wow. And so maybe about 15 to 20 of those, do a couple of sets.
And most of these exercises you can do maybe 3 sets of 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a nice
especially
start,
when
too.
you don't have a lot of time.
Right. Okay, and then what should I do next?
Okay, so you can drop those.
Okay.
And so now you're just going to do a squat.
Okay.
A regular squat, feet shoulder width apart.
That.
Now, one of the biggest mistakes that people make is they lift their heels and they allow their knees to go over their toes. You don't want to do that. Always say, think of sitting on the toilet.
Oh, okay.
Push your butt back.
Is that good?
Keep your chest up.
Chest up. I think that's the thing that I always did wrong when I was doing squats is I would do this and I would do the chest down and that's not the best position. You want the chest up.
No, you want to keep your chest up. Right. And usually when people lean forward like that, it's because their hip flexors are tight. And so it goes back to what I was saying about the mistake is people not warming up and then also not stretching.
Oh, and that's 2 important things to do.
So with a squat, when you come up, you want to push through your heels. You should be able to keep your toes raised when you're squatting.
Let's try it.
You see the difference?
Oh, I can do it.
Right. Engage those glutes, squeeze through when you, good. Okay. Now the next one works your legs, glutes, the whole leg, and we have a lunge.
So get back a little bit.
Okay, so bring your left foot forward.
Okay, so like that.
Good. And
bring the knee down.
Right. And same thing.
Whoops. And then right.
Don't let that knee go over your toes.
Okay. I think that's easy to do because we try to get too far. We try to lean forward to compensate. But I think it's good if you just, like at home, if you're just trying to work out for the very first time, just don't go as deep when you suggest. Maybe not go as
and then
deep
you
to
can
begin
do
with.
that. You can add a little pulse to it and you'll feel that burn.
Ooh, that feels good.
Right. And just think of dropping that back knee down to the floor instead
and then
of,
you can go all the way
and then the knee in the front kind of follows rather than going out. Right.
So there's different variations. You can go down and up. You can pulse.
You can pulse.
And you can alternate.
Right.
I can already feel my quadriceps. Is that what it's called? I can feel that burning.
And then if you extend your legs, you can engage the glutes even more.
I need to engage my glutes.
Right. And then there's different variations of the lunges where you can do a side lunge, a reverse lunge, curtsy lunge, all of those different things. But just your basic lunge is one of the top 5 exercises.
Good. So lunging, shoulder press, push up. What's next?
That's 4.
Yes.
And then my favorite, what do I always end?
Plank. It's time
always
to do the
in my
plank.
sessions with a plank. Right.
I love the plank. I don't really love the plank, but I'm going to do No, I do.
Actually, you know what? I forgot one because we didn't engage the back. So you got to stand back up.
Okay.
Stand back up, but you're going to bend over and do a single arm row. So you have that flat back, you place like your arm here, your forearm, And one of the mistakes that people make with these, good, perfect. You have a great trainer. No, I'm just joking.
I really do.
Good, now you're squeezing into your back, and like I said before, when you're working out the back, that's primary muscle, and then the secondary muscle is that bicep. And so one of the mistakes that people make with the single arm row is they do too much of the rotation of the trunk, and then they also
Like
squeeze
this.
their biceps
They try to do that, but you want to
and
keep
try
it.
to pull with the bicep, but you want to pull with the back and really engage that back muscle, and the bicep will
That feels
be
good.
engaged
I mean,
as well.
I already feel it right back there
Right,
in the
right.
back. So that's fantastic.
Okay, now to the plank.
Now the favorite exercise. And this one really just works everything, doesn't it?
Yes.
I love it.
And you actually remember just recently you just did a personal best.
I did.
3 minutes?
3
and
minutes.
a couple of seconds.
3 minutes and a few seconds over. I'm going for 3.5.
Awesome. So
I'm hoping for
plank
3.5.
is a great ab exercise. It engages everything. You'll feel it in your legs. And you know, a lot of times I tell people when they're holding that plank to breathe, you want to make sure your body is flat. That's perfect. You want to make sure your shoulders, your elbows are aligned. You don't want your body to be, your shoulders to be behind or ahead of your elbows. So that's perfect. And then also pull your navel to your spine.
Lift it up. And that
And
really
take
helps
deep
too.
breaths. Keep a neutral head. You don't want your head to hang. And squeeze everything.
I am.
And you will definitely feel that everywhere. And the thing that I like about the plank, in being it the last exercise that we do in my sessions, is that it pretty much torches the ab muscles. It's like you should always be engaging. You should always be engaging your core because it brings more power to all movements. But then right here, it'll really test whether or not you were using those muscles with the other exercises.
Well, great. I'm not going to go for a personal best today. That is fantastic. I feel like I worked out really, really hard. So, Flo, how can we find you?
Well, you can find me on Facebook, Mayoko Florann Elkins on Facebook. I'm also on Twitter and what's the other one? Instagram. Flo Life Fitness. Actually, Flo Life Fitness is on Facebook as well.
Great.
Or you can email me, flolifefitness@gmail.com.
And of course, you'll find her on my website, janicemcqueen.com, and hashtag The Janice McQueen Show. Thanks so much, Flo. It's always such a pleasure. And she is the best trainer I've ever worked with. So contact Flo Life Fitness today. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you at the next show.
Thank you.